What's up, guys? It's Lucas here. Today, we're going to analyze my every touch taken this past match day and our 3-0 win here in the semi pro division in Spain. Today, I'm playing in yellow. I'm going to be number 5, as you can see right here, playing at center back. And let's get straight into it. First play of the game, they're actually going to play to their center back, who's going to play a ball forward, and I'm just going to cut that out, looking for one of my strikers, which we unfortunately failed to connect there. Next play, I get the ball here just straight from my keeper. I'm going to pick my head up. I don't see anything in the midfield, so I instantly look for the other side, and that diagonal ball perfectly connects across. Here, I'm going to get the ball again coming from our other center back, and I'm just going to take my space forward and continue to move the ball around. It's really important as a center back to be able to circulate the ball 1-2, 1-2, and look for the space. But here, I'm going to see the long ball, try and find the other side. Unlucky there. The intention was right. I think the switch is always something that you need to look for as a center back. Actually, right after that switch, they happen to get a red card. So that completely changes the game. And here I'm going to get the ball, just take my space, and I'm going to circulate back to my other center back. I always like to look for the other center back as opposed to the fullbacks, just because it's a guaranteed trigger for the press. Every time you play the left back or the right back, it's going to draw the press from the other team. Get the ball again and just play the easy pass out to our other center back. Here, I'm going to have a really great ball, get the ball from my other center back, take the space forward, and then I immediately see this run coming in from our number 10. He's going to make a great run, and I'm going to spot this out with a really great ball. Just going to come right over top. I think if he could have taken a touch down here and finished, it would have been perfect, but still, this was the kind of play that I want to look to find more of. See the run, and I get a really good hit on that ball. Here, I just get the ball again. I'm going to take my space, and I'm going to play it out to our outside back who had been asking for it for a while, and we get out of that pretty nicely. It's really important once you beat a press to quickly find the other side if you can. I think that's something we struggled with in this game, and if we could have done that a little bit faster, we could have found more opportunities. Yeah, we got really close there. Here's a goal kick. One of my main priorities this game was locking down their number 9, so you can see that I stay glued to him a lot of the time. The ball's just going to come up and it's going to bounce right to him, but I just applied just enough pressure for the ball to stay with us. That was really important this game, staying close to their number 9. Here I just get the ball coming straight from our mid, and I look for something and I play the ball across. One thing I think we could have done was play a lot harder of balls there. That's actually going to be a really nice ball out to my left back, who just couldn't do enough with that, but the intention was right. Yeah, unfortunately, that did lead to a dangerous counter, but I think that the intention was right there. Once again, just getting the ball. We have loads of time and space. The other team is not pressing, they're a man down. So that does change the dynamic of the game a lot. And so I did try to make it a focus to circulate the ball a little better. Here's an error. Got cleaned up pretty nicely and actually turns into a goal opportunity here. Here I'm going to get the ball and once again look for my other center back. Here I'm going to have a defensive position. They got a dangerous counter going, and I actually lost my mark a little bit, but I recovered really nicely with just a touch on the ball. That was enough for it to go back to our keeper instead of letting their number 9 on a free one-on-one. That was really important in this game because we were trying to play more aggressive and go for the goal. Since we were a man up, it was really important to track those runs. Here, the idea was right, but the execution was just a bit off. If we go back and look at this, you can see that the run that I'm looking for is from our number 10 right here, cutting into this space, but it actually ends up being him calling for the ball a little bit more parallel. I played the ball into the space that I thought he was going to hit, but I understand that next time, instead of looking for these parallel balls that are going to be a lot harder, I need to have the vision to look out here into this space where I actually had number 17 here, our winger, wide open. Here, I'm just going to get the ball from our center back, find my midfielder here. He's going to play it back to me. Just lots of bouncing 1-2s. I'm going to bring it back to our keeper. At this point in the game, we really wanted to explore our options and explore especially the back line of their defense. So for that, we needed to draw them out and to play the ball more. Here we actually lose the ball in a dangerous place, and I'm just stuck to their number 9. As soon as the ball comes towards him, I just pluck it out. Here's just a free kick that our left back's going to take quickly, and I quickly see the space is on the other side. So I play it out to my other center back in hopes that he can find the continuation on this play, and he ends up playing a ball up to our 9, and it just doesn't work out quite as well as we wanted. Here we get a ball up to their 9. I'm trying to stay close to him, and they end up winning the second ball. Fortunately, we clear that out, and I find a ball to the back line of their defense, which I honestly think that we could have run a little bit better there. And then I end up getting the ball again. But if we go back, I really do think that one of the things I can work on is just being a little bit closer to that mark on this first ball here. Because if I can win, as a center back, if you can win that first ball, this one that comes in, if I can just be a little bit closer and win this first ball, then we can have a pretty good counter going, and we don't have to worry about any of those second balls. If I can just be a little closer, win that first ball, then we avoid this counter right here. Here, I'm going to get the ball from our keeper, and I'm going to take that space forward, looking for the back line, and I'm just going to find our midfielder because there's a lot of space to explore on the other side. Ideally, when I get the ball here, something that I want to work on is getting the ball here and then finding the diagonal space here. But this game, just because this team was down a man, you can see how far back they are. They are not pressing high. They have their sole striker who's doing all the press on our back line, but there's not as much space to explore, especially back here on the opposite side for me to hit this diagonal ball. Once again, I'm going to get the ball from the keeper. No press. I'm going to take my space, see if anyone jumps out at me, opening up a channel. The number 9 ends up pressing me, so I just bring it back to our keeper, who's going to pull it out to our center back. I'm going to get the ball, and what I really should do as soon as I get this ball is find our winger in this space back here. But I think I just took a second too long, and this touch wasn't quite right, and this number 9 ended up pressing me, and I try to find a more difficult ball into this space instead of either playing it back to my keeper, opening up, receiving the ball again, and playing this space, or taking a better first touch here, beating the striker, and finding this long ball here. But as you can see, I ended up playing a difficult pass into the space, and we end up not connecting, though we keep possession. Once again, ball from the keeper, but here I'm going to make a mistake. So I get the ball back from my center back again, which ideally I would want him to explore the other side before bringing it back here, because this number 9 is ready to pounce on top of me. And my left back isn't quite low. So once again, it's the same situation. Here I need to recognize before I get the ball, I'm getting this press. The ball needs to go behind the defense out here. And instead, I end up just playing the ball out of bounds. And from this throw in, I'm going to get the ball from our left back. Once again, I kind of have the 9 right on top of me. So ideally in this situation, I can't control the ball because losing it here is not good. So I'm going to play this straight back up and hope our number 9 can win this. Luckily, it goes into the midfield and we keep the possession. Right here, they have a free kick. It goes out to their center back. And as you can see here, I'm close to the 9. Maybe I could step forward a little bit here and try to leave him offsides, but I do have my left back here that's keeping the line pretty low. But on this play, nobody is expecting the ball to come into him, but I just need to be closer. Ball comes out straight at the 9. I need to be getting in front of him right away. But instead, he gets to this ball. Nothing comes out of it, but that's just something that I want to improve on. Once again, ideally here, I could play my left back in the hopes that he will connect with our winger, or I can turn this ball and look for the other side at our winger here. That's something I want to do a lot more, is find those diagonal balls, especially against a team like this that's going to stay compact and defend together from the back. It's really important as a center back to explore those longer passes, because it's a lot more difficult and more dangerous to break lines through small passes than a long pass behind the back. Here, their right back is going to play a long ball, and right away I see that I could be a little bit closer to this number 9, just stopping that run. But fortunately, I read the ball well here, and I'm going to cut this out straight to our left back, and we'll keep possession. Here I get the ball from our other center back. I'm going to take some space and play the left back and just drop back in so I can receive the ball again. Here, I could take my space forward, let this number 9 stab at me, then I can play the ball out. That's going to completely beat this line for my number 14 here to take all of the space forward and hopefully break some more lines. Here is my mistake. So our center back is going to get the ball down here in a really advanced position, and he's going to try to find the infiltrating pass up to our strikers here. But our striker is going to make the movement in here, and our other number 9 is not prepared for this pass, and it's going to lead to a dangerous counter that I'm not going to handle so well. So the ball gets cleared up, catches me a little bit off guard, and the ball is right here. I'm here with nothing behind me. This number 9 is hoping that I make the mistake for him to get in, and he's just going to be one-on-one. I have no option here to control. Taking a touch here, I thought, was the more dangerous option. So I go to volley it back up and completely misjudge it. This leads to a terrible mistake. Of course, I try to get back to save it, and luckily I was saved by this number 9. But that just shows you how you need to be awake and paying attention the entire time, because one ball can come up to you, and if you're not ready for it, look what it can lead to. 10 versus 11 men, and we could have gone 1-0 down right there. But what do you do when you make a mistake? Guys, I told you I'm not going to just show you my highlights. I'm showing everything. So I'm going to show you all of my mistakes as well as my victories. Now, 3 minutes after I make that mistake, we are going to lose the ball right here in a difficult position, and I'm instantly tracking the number 9. I see that his run, I'm trying to push him out wide. So he is driving into this space. Their number 10 is going to play the ball into that space, and I can track back and stop that run. This is why you need to be paying attention even after you make a horrible mistake, because you can save a goal from happening right after. You always need to be switched on. We actually end up getting our first goal out of this play here. Ball out to our left back in the box. He's going to take it down in his chest and gets a clear penalty. Just a defensive note here. Their right back is going to play on the long ball behind the defense, and the number 9 is going to get behind me. So in this case, I feel like I really need to work on locking him down. But I do a good job in the end of blocking his path to the goal without doing a foul, of course. This is in the box, and I'm going to get just enough touch on him to mess him up, and we're going to keep possession. First play, I want to look at the second half. Our center back unfortunately loses the ball here, and right here, I think that I need to turn and stick with the number 9, because right now I'm thinking about this player here, but in reality, he's going to be offsides. So I need to turn and stick to this number 9, and instead of doing that, I stay kind of in between, trying to be ready for either one, but the pass is going to sneak right by me there, and it's going to lead to a pretty good goal opportunity. Here, there's a ball up from the keeper. It's going to be me against their number 9. It comes into the air, and I am just close enough to him to where he has to hit it up. I stay on top of him, and it's going to provoke him to lose the ball. So, and actually, we're going to have a really good goal scoring opportunity from here, which we just can't quite convert. But that's the kind of play that is really important for me in this kind of game. Here, we're going to have another defensive play, ball in behind the back, and I follow the run and cut it off nicely for our keeper to be able to sweep it up. Here, I'm going to get the ball from other center back, quickly play it out to our left back, who's just going to bounce it back to me here. And I see the press coming, and this time I have a quick solution. There's a play, a long ball coming from there, outside back. It's just going to sneak in behind the lines, kind of throws me off balance, but I'm going to stay with their number 9, and I'm just going to keep applying the pressure to him. This kind of play is really important because if you leave this player alone, he's going to be in one-on-one with the goal. Even if it looks like I didn't win the ball straight from him, I still pressured him into losing the ball there and made it difficult for him. And from this play right here, we're going to have our 2-0 lead, just a mistake from their center back, and our winger takes great advantage of this, and we get 2-0 on the score sheet. Get the ball from the keeper, take some space, no press from the 9, play it out to my left back. He's got plenty of space to then find a pass forward, ends up playing it back to me, and I'm just going to play safe pass to my keeper, open up, and we're going to get a ball forward from our keeper here. Get the ball coming back from our left back to our midfielder, back to me. I get the ball here. Immediately, my head is going up thinking of that diagonal ball, but instead, I can see that there is plenty of space to pass the ball out to my center back, which will then give it out to this midfielder, and it's going to be a lot easier. So I'm just going to hold the ball to get some press, and I'm going to play it out wide. Here's going to be an aerial duel that I just quickly anticipate the ball. I'm not going to play around controlling the ball right here, so I'm going to head it out into the space over here. I'm just going to follow my mark, which has been the number 9 all game. We're going to hold our line until the ball is kicked, just to keep anyone who is past our line offsides. And as soon as the ball is kicked, I'm going to follow my mark and the ball, jump up for this header, and we're going to win it and head it out wide. I have a difficult play that's going to result into a penalty. I'm sticking with my mark as the 9 here. Ideally, I would have some cover from our number 4, our left back, but this ball is just going to bounce in a funny way, and instantly he is going to take the space around behind my back. If I was really alert, I could have stepped right here, leaving him offsides, but that's honestly a really risky play. I was expecting this ball to come into the space right here for this player to cut in front of me, but he ended up making a pretty good run, letting the ball run behind my back. Now, yes, this outside back ideally would reach this ball, but in this case, it was just unlucky and a pretty difficult play to defend. And we end up conceding a penalty right here, which gets saved. Right here, I'm going to get the ball from my left back. I have plenty of time and space, and I see this striker getting ready to press my keeper. That's the trigger for me to take the space forward and look at what my options are in terms of playing a long ball. Now, I think I take a little bit too long to find this pass, but I end up seeing the run coming in parallel here from my striker, and I decide to play that. Ideally, I want to start looking for diagonal balls more often, but if this ball was a little bit harder hit, I think it would have been a really great ball. Right here, they're going to have a nice long ball in behind our line of defense. I'm going to stick with this number 9 player right here and just track this run really well, keeping him away from the ball, clearing it out up to our winger, who's going to take a nice touch, and this play is actually going to end in a goal as our winger is going to pass it to our opposite winger, I think. Oh, no. He's just going to cross this in, and a really nice finish from our striker. Now, this corner kick right here, I was so close to scoring. Our midfielder is going to get a ball in perfectly across the box. No one gets ahead to it. Lands to my feet. Now, I could have hit this first time, but I saw a perfect opportunity to settle this, and I just took not the best touch. I ended up having to turn around. I still have plenty of space, and I see this far post open. And instead of playing this ball that I could have played right here to our striker, I see the far post and I go for the finish, and I just get unlucky right there. Once again, a difficult situation. Long ball coming from their center back directly over the top of both of our center backs. I think that our line needs to be a little bit higher right here. We can't allow this kind of ball to land in this space here. Ideally, our line is higher and it leaves this man right here offsides. But as you're going to see, the ball is going to land in perfectly, and we're just going to get pretty fortunate that the striker misses this opportunity. As you can see, even though we were up 3-0 at this point, they were still generating lots of scoring opportunities, which is something that we need to improve on as a team in this sort of situation. When you're up 3-0, especially when the other team is down a man, it's really important to keep possession of the ball. So right here, I've got two guys on my back. I'm locking back in with the number 9. Ball comes in up here. I jump up for a header. This guy is completely free. He needs to be marked. And I get up enough to block the view of their number 9, but he ends up getting a head on it, which will just go wide. This play is another perfect example of right here keeping a player offsides. I'm going to take a really important step forward, which is going to perfectly leave the number 9 offsides. At this point in the game, I did not have the legs to run backwards and track this run. So I make a really good decision here to step up a few feet, which leaves the number 9 perfectly offsides. I think this is a really good example of our back 3 staying perfectly parallel right here and leaving their striker offsides. Once again, another dangerous situation in the box. Their striker is sitting in the box. Somehow we do not manage to get this ball into our possession, and it's going to take a really unfortunate bounce right behind me. I'm going to just lean into the number 9. Is this a penalty? I don't think so, but let's take another quick look at it. I'm not pulling on him. I'm simply pushing a little bit into him. So I think that he was pretty weak falling down here, but that's just my opinion. I'm going to take the ball from the keeper here, and I'm just going to play it to our left back. At this point in the game, I'm just trying to keep possession every time I get the ball. I'm not looking for any of those crazy diagonal balls anymore. I'm just looking to keep possession. There's so much space, and that's what we're really focusing on in this minute in the game. Another long ball is going to come in over the top, and it's going to get flicked on by one of their midfielders, and I'm just attentive enough to jump up and win this duel.